Not many people know that the song California Dreaming is not just a beautiful music composition. In fact, there is a story behind it, which almost ruined all the band members and was the beginning of the end of their career. It started with the fact that in 1962, a young, beautiful, and talented singer, Michelle, came to the folk band of John Phillips and Scott McKenzie, the Journeymen. Everyone liked her so much that John Phillips, already married at the time, lost his mind, left his family, and married Michelle. This, of course, had a bad effect on the moral climate in the band, and the group broke up. The remaining three, John, Scott, and Michelle, were not discouraged. They invited Daniel Doherty from the Mugwumps, who they considered their main competitors, to join the band as tenor and started working on a new project, New Journeyman. It all took almost 3 years. The process ended with the fact that they poached from the Mugwumps the impressive Cass Elliot, who was not only known for her outstanding shape, but also had an IQ of over 160 points. This was the reason for her nickname Mom. Soon, Scott McKenzie decided to leave the band and started working on his solo career. And the fully staffed band, which changed its name to the Mamas and the Papas, returned to Dank, New York in 1965 after a vacation in the Virgin Islands. However, they had spent almost all of their money, and to their dismay, their paychecks were delayed. As a result, they had no money to pay the utilities in their rented apartment, and their heat was cut off. The picture of disaster was compounded by the fact that the fall of 1965 was abnormally cold. Already at the end of October came winter cold and snow fell. To understand what winter is like in New York, you just have to try it once. Sub-zero temperatures, wind and humidity of up to 70%. Clothes get wet from the moisture hanging in the air, and any desire to write happy songs disappears. And so, they started going to the church next door, because the church always had heat, and there were no problems with utilities. Besides, John and Michelle were Southerners, not used to winters like this. He was originally from South Carolina, and she was from California. One night, wrapped in damp blanket, a shivering John woke up to a quatrain that came to his mind. He started humming it in the ear of a half-asleep Michelle, but she began to grumble, "Leave me alone, you're cold. We have to get up for work soon." Then John woke her up even more determinedly and said, "If we write this text now, you'll never regret it." And so, warmed by thoughts of their beloved California, wrapped in damp blankets in cold New York, John and Michelle finished writing their sunniest song, the one that was destined to make them famous for decades. But how did the song become popular? That's a whole different topic. The band played on weekends in the very church where they were warming themselves. On the day of the song's premiere, Ed Sullivan, who had already been buzzed by his friends with stories about the band with magical vocal shimmers, dropped by the church. It was a moment that played a key role in the fate of the group. Special attention should be paid to the role of Mama Cass. In addition to her impressive IQ and unique vocal talents, she became a crucial element of the band, contributing to the vocal parts. She was the one who wrote the very unique vocal scores that became the band's trademark and made their harmonies so unique. The most amazing thing is that for Mama Cass's enormous contribution, John Phillips did not give her the slightest share of the copyrights. But that is not John's worst mistake. At the end of the video, I'll tell you a truly shocking story that will make you look at the Mamas and the Papas frontman in a different way. After the song California Dreamin' was created, its success was not instantaneous. However, when it was heard by Ed Sullivan, it received much more attention, and soon the song became popular on radio stations across the country. But why is it that a band that got such a huge boost in the form of The Ed Sullivan Show and won the hearts of millions left behind so few songs? The problem was that John Phillips's wife and frontwoman, Michelle Phillips, was an overly amorous woman. And even before the song California Dreamin' was released, Michelle had a secret affair with that very tenor, Danny Doherty. And when the romance came to light, Mama Cass Elliot nearly scratched Michelle's pretty eyes out. Not out of support for her cheating husband John Phillips, but out of jealousy, because Cass was secretly in love with Danny Doherty. It's still not clear why the band didn't break up at that moment, but John not only forgave his beloved, but also dedicated the song "I Saw Her Again" to her. But in less than a year, Michelle ran away from John Phillips to Gene Clark from the Byrds. In any case, the further fiddling with departures, solo projects, and comebacks did not contribute to the further success of the band. Each of the participants tried to create a solo career, but John Phillips progressed not only with his musical achievements. The fact is that he became the main participant of a truly horrible and dark story. He and his band suffered greatly from numerous scandals related to the use of illegal substances. He was repeatedly treated, and when he finally decided to come out again, a new scandal was set up by his daughter Mackenzie Phillips, who was already in the then-revived band, the Mamas and the Papas. At one point, she confessed that for 10 years, her father had been doping her with those illegal substances and having intimate relations with her. And the first time it happened was right before her wedding when she was 19. This confession has finally destroyed John Phillips. You can learn more about the creepy secrets of John and Michelle Phillips' marriage and the real reasons for Michelle's runaway in the next video, which I will release when this video gets 5,000 likes.